Podtacular, episode 157, Finishing the Fight, for the week of April 8th, 2008.
This is part 1 of 2 of the final episode of the Podtacular audio podcast.
Welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. You're about to hear what the Halo Nation had to say about this week's topic at Podtacular.com to help you dominate at Halo. So strap on your Spartan armor and grab a battle rifle, because it's time to finish the fight.
It's come down to just you and me. A battle will decide our destiny. My brothers are dead, my family is hurt, and I'm on the ground.
Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the final episode of Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am Foo Mo Wive.
I am JVB.
I'm Spelchek, you can call me Splee Cheeks.
Woohoo!
Yes, the infamous Splee Cheeks.
He's back.
This is CapnKrunk.
And I'm Chuckie J.
All right.
Foo Mo Wive.
Yay! My wife.
Wow, so we got a full crew here today.
Yes, actually, Dalpex was supposed to join us. He might actually join us eventually throughout the show, but we're hoping that he makes it in. And also, we were going to have Nene, but as always, Nene is elusive and backed out at the last second.
He refused to be caught.
Yeah, I think he's in the witness protection program or something. Explains a lot.
Yes, actually, the movie Donnie Brasco was about Nene. Yes.
I did not know that.
I'm so far removed, I don't really know who Nene is. I was on the forums earlier trying to figure out who it is. Apparently, not that many people find Nene as funny as you guys.
You know, Spelchek, I think it's better that you don't know who Nene is.
I think it is.
It's kind of like Waldo, basically. He's just as well hidden.
Yeah, what you
Yes.
don't know can't hurt you, you know?
Exactly.
Just wear a red and white striped shirt.
And you know what? The phrase "forget about it," Nene. That's all I gotta say.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Okay, my voice cracked.
Yeah.
All right, so
Nene. Boston Tea Party.
Fumo, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Boston Tea Party.
Yep. All Nene.
The Zeppelin. The Zeppelin was Nene.
Yep. Yep. Ending World War II. Yep.
Oh, man.
Parting the Red Sea.
Part in the Red Sea. So
My wife's
Kind of-
looking at me like I'm
Nene was
nuts.
like,
ditto.
Landing on the moon. Nene.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the cameraman while they were
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
he was the cameraman for the Anastasia on Mars.
He was like, "Oh, hang on a sec, I forgot to press record." Oh, okay, go ahead.
on the moon.
How does my hair look?
Man, one giant leap for Nene.
Oh, he was like, forget about it. We're going to the moon.
One small step for Yetis. So,
All right.
So-
Yes, Foo Mo Wive, this is it, man. This is the end.
this is it. And like we were saying, we got a full crew going on here. We got
Yes.
Spellcheck back from the dead. So it
Yes,
seems.
Spelchek.
Really,
You know,
it's
before
been-
we
it's
go,
been a-
before we move on, Spelchek, man, how you been? Where you been?
Well, there's about three reasons, and I've had a lot. No, because there's a lot of people that kind of like, from the forums list because I got back on there recently. They're like, they don't really know who I was because
Yeah.
they joined around episode 50 and I left on 47. So like, sweet, perfect. Right when I left is when everyone else joined. But so like a lot of people don't really know why I left or even who I was. I was the co-host from episode 2 through 47. The reason I left, it's about three things combined. Well, the first thing was my original Xbox broke. It had to be sent in for repair. Shortly after receiving it back, though, my Halo 2 disc was scratched into oblivion and would not play.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have a question before you go to number 3 because I gotta know what were you doing to your Xbox and your Halo 2 disc?
I think it was a matter of I ripped a lot of CDs onto my Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them which were probably really in poor condition. So I really think, there's using those like bad CDs in the Xbox put a lot of dirt in there because essentially the dashboard worked perfect. It was reading disc. Didn't matter what the disc was, whether it was brand new or anything. It couldn't read anything at all. So that's what it was. My laser got too dirty or too bad, and if I opened it up and tried to fix it, I was out of luck, and so I sent it off for $100.
So you had CDs like covered in dirt and with like sandpaper on the bottom and stuff like that?
Well, no, my next door neighbor opened his up and he didn't fix it, and he ended up having to buy a brand new Xbox. So,
wow. He's like, where's my Vanilla Ice CD? It's in the cat letter. Let me just burn it into my Xbox.
No, that's the weird thing. When I got it back, the hard drive had some things still on there and other things not.
Oh,
So it had all my music on there, but when I got it back, my Halo 1 profiles were gone.
oh man.
Like, some of my Halo 2 profiles were gone, and like a couple other games had stuff missing. Like, it wasn't like, it was weird because it wasn't everything. It was just some things.
That was Nene.
That's what it was. Like,
So what was number 3?
But number three is funny. I
it's
guessed
something
it.
that I'm sure not everyone in this community will relate to.
Well, not back then anyway.
Yeah, well, at least back then. JVB already knows what it is. I got a girlfriend.
What?
And,
How dare you?
Treachery.
and I knew that, and I knew that was a bad reason, and I didn't even tell Foo Mo till like right now, like 3 seconds.
Oh man,
It's funny
I feel
because
betrayed.
it's funny because he's telling me this, and me and Chuckie J, like while Foo Mo was messing with his computer, and he's like, number 3, I'm so embarrassed by it. I'm like, you got a girlfriend? He's like, yeah. I'm like, they'll do it to you, buddy.
And I'm not with her anymore, so it's all good.
Oh
Wow.
But don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I learned my lesson, bros.
Yes.
There you go. Done.
Well, it's good to have you on, at least for one last episode. I mean, people did miss you in the community. There was plenty of forum posts about where's Spelchek.
About every 6 months.
Mhm.
Every 6 months or so, somebody'd ask.
Yes. So,
Because somebody would eventually go back through and listen to those older episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, I've been around for a while, and so were you, and I mean, you had some classic moments on the show. So
Definitely.
one which I'm gonna definitely bring out there that
Make
some
fun of
people
it.
might not remember.
Yep.
But
Oh,
I do want to welcome CapnKrunk because Captain Krunk actually has his own podcast right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little
Yeah, why
bit.
don't you go into that?
Well, one of the things with it is it's not so much a podcast by itself, but it's for a magazine that I work for,
Mm-hmm.
and we do it kind of as a bonus to our readers. To give them some insight and we talk about things that we do with our magazine and things that we like, stuff like that. So it's not just a podcast itself, but
It's a magazine there.
it revolves around the magazine, just like the site and everything else.
And can you please tell us the name of the magazine?
Oh man, I hate to do the shameless plug.
Do
but
it.
It is called Peak Magazine. It's P-I-Q.
There you go.
Sweet.
And it's about all kinds of entertainment, movies, anime, video games, all kinds of great geek type stuff. So
Awesome. I was actually watching. I had to stop it. Appleseed Ex Machinima.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember you guys in episode 1 talking about that. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's on the cover of our first issue.
Mhm.
And shameless plug number 2. Our second
Yeah,
issue
there
is
you go.
about to come out soon.
no problem with that, man.
For those of you who really aren't familiar with CapnKrunk, this man really is responsible for a lot of what you see on Podtacular.com. You really helped get this thing going back when
Absolutely.
because we
Yeah,
used to be this really shoddy blogspot website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What did
I
you go
remember that.
through for that?
Well, I remember catching you guys, or even just Foo Mo in the first show. And I remember thinking, oh, I
The
gotta
classic
see
first
I gotta see where this is gonna go. And so I listened, and I heard Spelchek come on, and I said, I'm gonna email these guys and just see if they want some help with their blogspot page.
Boy, did we need help!
Yes.
And so, it turned into a whole thing after that. It just kind of took off once we got got a real site going and
Absolutely.
forums and everything.
So we're gonna go into that actually. I do want to intro into our segment with Foo Mo Jive because we are gonna go into the story of Podtacular.
Mhm.
And Foo Mo Wive, take it away, buddy.
Well, we also got Chuckie J here, and
Yes. I wasn't going to leave him out. I was going to bring him in.
man,
No, I was
let's
going to bring
skip
him
over
in.
Chuck,
I was
man.
going to slowly bring him in there.
Hey, I just snuck in here. I don't,
Well, we all know that
Really?
Chuckie J
What
and
year is it?
Podtacular and. So Chuckie, how is Podtacular doing nowadays?
Oh, pretty well. It's kind of interesting because it seems like every week the group that comes is a little bit different.
Mhm.
Like there's a few regulars, but then there's always like 2 or 3 new people. So we ended up like with 8 or so people every week, and
Nice.
they're always a little bit different.
Different how? Personality-wise or
Like age-wise.
all of the above? And that's
there's
but it's doing well?
Fumo, the people that want to say hi to Foo Mo,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they assumed that he would be there.
Yep.
And would they leave when they know he's not there?
No.
Okay.
Everybody's real cool like that.
That would have been so wrong.
Yeah.
Well, here,
No,
I'm leaving.
they come for the Bible study, but then when he shows up, they're like, "Ooh." Yep. It's good.
That's celebrity.
And this is another thing that because me and Spelchek were talking about some of the things that has gone on since he left. And I remember when I told Microsoft about Podtacular, and I told Tony Hines, and he sends me an email like, "Here you go, buddy," and he sends me these links to their site and Kotaku, and I'm like, "Oh my god, Podtacular and Podtacular."
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was huge. And we've been going through some apologetics topics, looking at some of the evidence for God's existence and for the Bible being accurate and things like that. And it's just been really interesting. We're just kind of building, kind of like in a courtroom, we're kind of building up a case, for God. So
I got to ask you a question. Sorry to interrupt you. In talking about games.com, there was a thread about Podtacular.com.
Really?
Where's that coming from? You don't know about it?
I've been on your forums a couple times, but I missed that. No.
Okay. So later on, I'll send you a link.
Well, that was Foo Mo's idea too. He set aside that domain just in case we wanted to make a website. But let's just say I haven't had much real life time to do something like that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that is why the show's ending, folks.
Yeah. So it just links back to the forums right now.
Okay. Sweet. Okay. Well, Foo Mo Wive.
Well, also got Foo Mo Wive here.
Get the show going.
Yeah, she was on an episode a while back. I remember that one.
Yes. Which one was that? That was 50th? No.
That was 100.
100.
Oh yeah, it was 100, wasn't it?
I remember because I couldn't make it. I'm like, dude,
I couldn't make it either. I wanted to make it to 100.
Yeah, man. I remember you told me it was Gemini Ace and For My Wife. Right? Was that correct? That was the one where Gemini was on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I remember because I had to put all those clips together from the old show.
Yeah, that was
fun.
I bet. And that was a good a good segment when you put
It was
all
a good
those.
look back at where we come from.
That was really
exactly. Cool. Is Foo Mo Wive going to join us today?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hey.
So,
How you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm doing good.
Been eating any hot, spicy foods lately?
Actually, I learned about a new Thai place that's supposed to be hotter than Napa Soren World.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I can still handle it like I used to.
Well, for those that don't know, me, Mike, and Foo Mo Wife, and my wife, we do hang out once in a while, and we do go to dinners. So she actually pwned Foo Mo Jive one time.
Whoa.
And made it. She ate hotter food than he did, and then she trash talked throughout the process.
Yep.
It was great.
She was like, "Oh, Nub, sit down."
I'm sure that's exactly what she said.
And Foo Mo Jive is sweating, and he's like, "I can't eat this."
I was like, "I can't take it. You win." She was like, "What? You suck."
Yeah, that was awesome. I was like, I gotta mention this, so I'm glad I found the opportunity to mention it finally.
Is that what you're holding back, or is there something else?
Speaking of being pwned, did Foo Mo Jive ever tell you about the time that he was playing Halo and I was on the microphone, so people thought that they were being pwned by a girl? They were calling me all sorts of nice names.
Oh wow! So you got to
Yeah.
experience how it.
Yeah,
how
what
it-
it's like
how
to
it is
actually
for
do
people.
well in Halo.
Yeah, a bit of a run-in
that-
with the Halo general population, let's call it.
Yeah, very interesting.
Foo Mo,
Hey.
remember the time I went to your house and I got on? I did the same thing, but I was talking on your account, and some people were like, "Damn, Foo Mo, you sound like JBB."
Yeah. You sound different, man.
I like, really?
Lozenge or something?
JBB took him to New York.
Yeah.
They're like, "Really?" And they're like, "Wow, I got a cold." I was like, "Hold on, let me check my mic," and then I'll give it to Foo Mo Jive, and he'll come on. And he goes, "Is that better?"
Better?
Yeah.
That was great, man.
Well, let's
Yeah.
get this started, man.
Let's do it.
As much as
part
yeah.
Yeah, we're like 20 minutes in.
I
Yeah,
know.
well, hey, this is the one where we're pulling out all the stops. We're going as long
Exactly.
as it's going to be. So you probably have to pause and come back to this at some point. Even if you're like driving across country, you're like, all right, time to pause and come back to this when I'm on my way back.
Yeah. This is gonna kick it old school where the episodes were pretty long.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were. Our first, and actually, this is what we're getting ready to talk about. We're getting ready to talk about the history of Podtacular, where it
Mhm.
came from.
From the beginning.
But one thing, and I don't know if we're really going to touch on this, but podcasting really kind of started around, it's about like June, July of 2005. And Podtacular started, I think you did episode 1. It was at like late July 2005. And we had I know I started in August, early August. So, we were really on the brink of one of the really early ones.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm friends with Godfrey, and he told me, he's like, wow. When I told him that we were ending it, he was surprised, and he actually took it to heart because he said, wow, we were amongst the first. He said Podtacular was there in the beginning, and
In the
he's like, "It's gonna
beginning,
be
there was
weird."
Podtacular, and it was good.
Well, it's podcasts started a little bit before that, but there was like 4,000 to 5,000 podcasts at the time that we started Podtacular, and now there's I think well over 100,000 podcasts.
Forget about it.
I know Gamertag Radio started before us as well, and they were
A little
Godfrey
before,
Gamertag Radio. They were really my main inspiration for starting Podtacular.
Man, their production value was so much higher than ours, and I was so jealous.
Oh yeah, when we started out, it was just
No.
embarrassing.
They were literally about like 7 months ahead of us as far as like maturity. They really were
Oh, yeah.
a lot further than.
And that's that's where I found you guys. So
Yeah. Well, let's go from the beginning.
let's do it.
So let's see. I guess starting on like where the podcast like first started off with, what I was trying to do is, I did a lot of commuting and I listened to a lot of podcasts. So I just got an iPod, and I kind of wanted to get
iPod Shuffle. Remember, it was
iPod
a shuffle. It wasn't
Yeah.
a real iPod.
the
It was
sticky
like a
gum
fake iPod.
iPod. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the mini
Yeah.
of
Who was
iPods.
it? Yeah.
We don't
the
need no
Lilliputian.
stinking screen.
So I was, I was using that to listen to podcasts and everything. And at the same time, I'd finally got my own Xbox and been playing a bunch of Halo 2 online and been getting way into it. So I was thinking, I wanted to kind of give back to podcasting, and I was trying to think of a couple different podcasts that I could possibly do, and kind of do my research. And there's a couple other ones I was thinking of, but it turned out that Halo 2, I figured the biggest thing about doing a Halo podcast is that I was never going to run out of stuff to talk about, and I don't think we ever ran out of stuff to talk about. We could continue to go on for ages.
Oh, absolutely.
And have plenty of new and interesting stuff to talk about, but it's, that's not the issue really. But, that was the main reason I wanted to start a Halo podcast, and looking into it, there were a couple other podcasts at the time, which Spelchek can talk about in a sec, but the thing is that they weren't particularly successful. There was one that the audio quality was really poor, especially in the first couple episodes, and they weren't producing very frequently. Another one that had quit for at least a month and probably ongoing, and turned out to be that was the last one. So there wasn't anything that really had taken off. So I thought maybe there'd be an opportunity there. So what was some of our competition there, Spelchek?
The one I really remember was Halo 2 Talk.
I remember
this,
that too.
This actually
Yeah,
was a clan doing a show, and they talked some major trash about us. They didn't like us.
A lot of, there were a few haters out there. Not around anymore, that's for
the
sure.
Halo Forefathers clan, and they still have their page is still up. You can still go find Halo 2 Talk.
Yeah, Yeah, they had a good show though. I mean, they had like really in-depth like discussion of different like strategies and stuff for the maps and everything.
Oh, never mind. That link is dead. The Forefathers Clan name. You can actually even buy that domain again. Never mind. I'm totally oh god.
They're like, let's see, $9.99. Okay, I'll take it.
So let me ask Foo Mo Wive a question.
Yes.
When did he approach you about this? And I mean, what was your initial thoughts when he started podcasting?
What is a podcast? That was probably my first thought.
Exactly.
Yeah, he kind of had to explain it to some of our friends too, so he kind of had his little synopsis of how he would say it. It's like a radio show for the internet, and you know, people were familiar with MP3s, but they didn't realize you could put anything on an MP3, not just music. So, actually, I don't really remember exactly when he told me about it. I think he just started doing stuff, and I don't really
I remember saying, like, look, this is, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it, you know, all the way, and I'm going to put a lot of effort into it, definitely. But, you know, so I just wanted to kind of prepare you of, like, how much work I was going to put in, and it's been...
He didn't ask permission or anything.
so one day out of the blue, did he go, look, honey, I'm in front of iTunes?
Yeah, actually he did. I think as it kind of rolled along, he would... my earliest memories are when he was checking to see how many subscribers he had, and it just went up exponentially pretty much every day, and he'd check it, and it was just like 1,000, 2,000, whatever, you know. It was like, what the heck, you know? So pretty crazy. Yeah,
that's good to know. So, Foo Mo, what else happened during the beginnings?
So we had the...
In the beginning.
Okay, sorry.
One man.
And a microphone.
And an iPod.
In the beginning, there was
Didn't I say like a little munchkin or something whispered in your ear to start Podtacular? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Tyrone the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, Foo Mo, come on, man.
There he is on the midgets again.
Yeah. I hate midgets. But
all right, so
go
ahead, dude. Sorry about that.
But I was saying that, like in the beginning, I started off like intentionally with just like a minimal setup. I had just like the website was real basic. It was actually just a template right off of Blogger. It was this dark blue thing going on, and eventually we had a separate, at least a different banner at the top. So there was something iconic about it. But it just started with a real simple Blogger site there. And right after the first episode, where I was basically just talking into my internal mic in my computer and just kind of set up a basic outline of some things about Halo to talk about. And it was pretty horrible, but after that, at least you could show a progression from that. But
definitely.
But after that, I was looking for a co-host because, you know, after listening to other podcasts, it's like, you know, this ain't gonna fly with just me jabbering on about stuff. So I really need someone to you know, joke around with and that whole thing. So I put, you know, co-host Star Search on the Blogger.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was co-host Star Search.
Yeah.
You know what was funny when I heard that episode and you were saying, yeah, I'm looking for a co-host. I'm not too funny and I need somebody funny and blah blah blah. And I remember going, man, maybe I should call up and I mean, this is when I heard you guys on iTunes. So no. As a matter of fact, yeah, I found you guys on iTunes, not on a gamertags radio.
That's when iTunes actually did have a big selection, and you actually it was really easy to find stuff then. They really changed.
And I put Halo like everybody else does, and I found a few shows, and I found that, and I listened to episode 1, and you're like, yeah, I need a co-host, and I mean, but I the thought popped in my head. I never took it seriously. And then, you know, of course, the next episode, Spelchek was on. So.
Yeah. So why don't you tell them?
Why don't you go into that a little
worked.
bit?
Okay, yeah. There's a really funny backstory. 2 weeks prior, I'd say, to the posting of the Star Search thing, there's a website called Odeo, which is what Foo Mo had to use to be able to put his Is podcast under shuffle, because it kind of had to just, you can't just use podcast because that shuffle now does support.
Right, there was no iTunes store yet. Yeah, no podcast directory on iTunes, so that was the only.
Well, no, there was. There's just no way to put podcasts onto a shuffle. There's just no way unless you.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But,
so audio was kind of a bigger deal back in the day. Now it means nothing, absolutely nothing now.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, I found that's actually where I found Podtacular was on audio, and I listened to the first episode and I insulted Foo Mo Jive. No, I really did. Like I said, like, man, the quality's crap and it sounds really bad. You're not like it's so embarrassing now.
Yeah.
So the truth comes out.
Yeah. But I mean, I sent him an email, and I was actually going to look up that email and see what I wrote, but it was really like before we knew it. I mean, there was this big deal of we had to try and get Foo Mo a mic. That was fun.
Yeah.
Instead of using his internal one. I mean, it was, that first episode was really weird because this was also really before. So I mean, Skype was, we're thinking 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Skype didn't really have a lot of the tools that you see now, where you can just record the audio that comes right out of it. Like that's what we do now. Right. We use the audio hijacking program. So I just joined up and that was it. I mean, I sent him an email. There's like another guy in the running, I believe. Then I mean, there was somebody else too, but I just got it first. So that was that.
Yeah. There's a couple guys. We ended up talking on the phone for a bit. I mean, Spelchek, and he was a Christian too. And I guess just the only reason the reason I was happy about that is because I didn't want like Podtacular to just be be a bunch of like really nasty talk all the time. And that's what we've kept that standard even to today. There's like a line that we don't cross. And if we do, like say edit, we edit it out. And sometimes I cross it too, it's like.
Yeah.
In his words, Mike said he didn't want me to cuss up the podcast.
We'll be talking stuff now.
Yeah. Don't be talking stuff.
I wouldn't be cussing up the podcast, which was true. And until like a few episodes ago, when someone else like wanted to be bleeped out, like that was a dream to be bleeped out.
Oh yeah, that was Lone Banana Phone last episode. And in reality, he didn't curse. He was just saying.
Right. He said, "Mother flubber, your ship has come in." Yeah.
Nice.
Well, hey, let's take a quick break here, and we're gonna do this throughout the show. We're gonna get to some people that have sent in their gamer tags for the final audio episode of Podtacular as we transition to the video, and we're gonna check some of those out. So here's some people that have been a part of the show in the past and are part of this one. Here we go.
Hey everyone, this is Arcade Wizard.
Hey Podtacular, it's Dickie61.
Logan Payne speaking. I will miss this podcast and being on it.
Oscar 344.
Hey everyone, it's Lancelot. Hey Podtacular, it's Anorexic Leader.
Hey Podtacular, this is Halo Master.
Camel Inferno.
This is Austin Dead 518.
Hey Podtacular, this is Jurassic 03.
Hey everybody, this is JP Oliver.
Hey Podtacular, to me, Master Podtac.
Hey, this is Steve Medic 13. This is Noobs Are People 2.
Hey, this is Red Channel.
Hey, this is Sergeant Corona.
Hi, this is Jacob Wilson, also known as Orion255.
Hi, this is Mason GXL. I'd like to send out a goodbye to Podtacular. You guys have been great to me.
It's me, Ball Metal Gecko, your favorite gecko in metal pants.
Well, this is Dr. Tom.
Hey guys, Heavy Fire Chris.
Hey Podtacular, it's Rogue119.
Yo, what's up? This is True Jim.
Hey, what up, Podtacular? This is Unleashed.
Man of Popsicle 14.
Hi, Podtacular. It's NearSorbin1 here.
Yeah, my gamer tag is Palladian from the SFX 360 group in South Florida. Just want to say, Podtacular, you've been great. Want to say goodbye wishes and you'll be missed.
Hey, Podtacular. It's Potential Flame here.
Hey, guys. This is Serious Striker.
Hey, Podtacular. What's up? This is Peach from PregameLobby.com.
Hey, Podtacular.
It's the Hawk 442.
This is X-Tech.
Hey, Podtac, it's the one, the only, the Podhead Sweeper.
Hey, this is Casey Smacker.
Hey, what's going on, Podtacular? This is Cyclonic.
Hi. My gamer tag is Captain Anger.
Hey, this is Klepto Kangaroo from the one and only Podtacular.com.
Hey, Podtacular, this is OOO Furies OOO.
Hey, Juice Pirate here.
Mocha Man. Later.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. It's time to continue on the history lesson Podtacular, picking up the pace a bit and getting on to some stuff that we got to towards today. So, so Spelchek, you were talking about how joined the show. From there, we started.
They started getting a little bit longer. Our shows, our early ones, are about an hour and a half in length. But just because they're an hour and a half in length doesn't mean it took us an hour and a half to make them. It took us it was taking about a whole Sunday afternoon.
Right.
Yeah. We'd start about 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central Time, and we'd finish about 6-7 o'clock at night. I mean, it was like an all day thing, like all afternoon thing, and then we'd barely have it up at like 2 o'clock the next afternoon.
Yeah.
But even with all that, though, we still decided that we were going to split the show in about 2-3 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember that well.
Just to have
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right?
We had a lot of people really wanting us to do more shows.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew that we could do more shows, but we couldn't do more days to record.
Right.
So you did 1 3-hour show.
But before we split the shows up, we did something really, really cool. And it's actually more cool now than it was back then. We got Major Nelson on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yes. I remember. Yeah.
Yes, and I have, and remember, this was when Major Nelson was doing his little, 5-minute blog cast, I guess you want to call it.
Back then, it was okay to call it a netcast. It was still okay to call it netcast and blogcast. Microsoft employees couldn't call it a podcast.
But it was funny because I remember listening to that show. And there's a part where I think Foo Mo, you asked Spelchek a question, or he didn't answer, and he's like, Spelchek, where are you? He goes, I went to go get a cookie.
I do remember that, dude. That was funny.
No, it's crackers.
We got real quiet. I went to get a cookie.
Dude, that show was pretty fun. And as it turned out that this was like early on when Major Nelson came on, and we were still having major audio problems, really. And if you go back and listen to it, I mean, it sounds horrible. It sounds it's just like grating the quality.
What was great though? What was great about that episode? He wanted to stay on. He's like, I'm going to stay on with you guys.
Well, he couldn't stay the whole episode, if I remember right. Like he able to stay through like 75% of it, and we just did a lot of talking because this was actually even too. We got to really just like talk to him about the Xbox 360.
Yeah,
that was one of the coolest parts for me. Yeah,
we got to clear up so many rumors about the 360. Like we got to be like a big deal. It was that like I was like freaking out. It was so cool.
Exclusive.
Yeah, it really was. But Major Nelson's like a really kind of a big deal now. Anyone who has a 360 and is connected to Live knows who he is because his name pops up all the time in the little like inside Xbox stuff.
Yes.
But back then he was like a guy who Microsoft. Now it's a big enough deal to us.
No, yeah.
Definitely. We spent like a good 30-40 minutes just like chilling with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you went to
like
go
recording
grab a
that episode was such a hassle because like we couldn't do it at our normal time because we had to get it when he was in the office, and we couldn't do it on Friday because I had to work. We couldn't do it like on like some night because Foo Mo had kung fu.
Kung fu, what?
Yeah. He brought that up. He's just like, man, he told you about his kung fu.
I was doing kung fu like a couple times a week, man.
Oh,
dude, I'm not coming to visit you anymore.
So you see, people were correct when they said that.
He can do more than just melee. He actually can kill you.
With my
you got to see how he plays the drums on Rock Band. I knew those hands weren't that fast for like just podcasting.
I played Rock Band.
But it's funny because I remember the shows being, of course, back then poor audio quality, and like you mentioned, Skype was pretty new at the time, so we used to all have to send our Audacity audio individually, and then you guys had to fit it in.
Oh yeah.
And this is 3 hours of work.
We necessarily couldn't even get Skype to work all the time, so
I know.
what we had to do, we would literally like phone call it in sometimes.
Yeah. But one thing, Pete, I remember somebody maybe about a year ago had actually brought this up, and they used to say, you know what, man, you guys had these long pauses.
Yep.
And he goes, I got so used to it that I didn't even notice it anymore. He goes, it was a unique feature from you, of Podtacular. And I remember listening to episode 18, and I remember the long pause. It was like, yeah.
Should we do it now, just for old time's sake?
It was these things where like we'd always forget, whose turn is it to talk?
Yeah.
Well, maybe if I just wait, somebody will
Somebody
remember.
else will jump in, yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, the magic of
there's
post-processing can take care of things like that now. Yay!
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll
we
fix
got
it in
a lot better
post.
anyway.
We just like scream the word edit, and then we like, okay, we're good. Now we just pick up
I
where
don't
we
know
left.
why we did that. That was so stupid. I had this genius idea that, like, in order for me to more easily, or whoever was editing at the time, to more easily find edits in the show, instead of just like saying edit and writing down the time, we would yell at the top of our lungs, edit! So that like you could actually look at it visually and try to find the spike in audio.
And you know what? It worked pretty well for a while until we stopped yelling it and just started saying, "Hi, my name is Spelchek, blah blah blah, edit." Then we could never find it if it was never a spike in audio. And so then like I think there's a couple that slipped through our cracks. We're like, "Yeah, man, we need to re-record that. Okay, let's start over."
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're playing on lockout, there's a ghost. There's a ghost on lockout. And you're like, "What? Let's go."
Oh, nice. Now there was a clan. Clan developed eventually based off the podcast.
The clan had a rocky start.
What was that?
The clan had a very rocky start.
Yes.
And Foo Mo can really attest to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. We had about 80 clans.
Well, we had like
Originally, the clan was more like an extension of our friends list because you can only have 100 friends
that's
each.
Right.
And back then, we were allowed to have a clan. And like you said, it was an extension.
Yeah.
But we had like recreational clans from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
We had pro clans. We had all-stars. We had Podtacular clan.
Yeah. It went bonkers. I mean, it started out with just like Podtacular, the clan, that was it. And of course, back then clans were also competitive because, you could have a level for your clan and everything and play clan matches in matchmaking and stuff like that. So, then people, then it started to get from Podtacular 1 and 2, where we had basically my clan and Spelchek's clan. And then it got to the point where that was not enough. There was more people that could get on, and we went through all these different clan systems. Really, I mean, I'm sure the listeners would kind of get bored to hear like every single clan system we went through.
Oh, yeah. No.
So basically, we ended up having the recreational clans is where anybody can join if they're fans of the show or part of the community or whatever. And then we had the pro clans where people have to try out and meet a certain level of skill. And then you have the all-stars, which are the best of the pros. We have like different numbers of clans and things like that within that. But that's the basic structure that we settled on after many, many trials and errors.
I remember all of us were in Podtacular Pro A, I think. It was a lot. Like you said, it got out of hand eventually.
Yeah.
But at one point, it was really fun to kind of look at it, everybody's clan level, and kind of brag about it.
We tried having a bunch of different clans. We tried having the Podtacular clan was just for level 15s and above, and then we had another one for the pod rookies. We had people like go and they had all these politics go on, and people would go and destroy clans by deleting everyone and then say it wasn't them, and or say it was my friend that came in and destroyed it, and we were just like,
Chuckie J, you actually made a comment about that earlier.
Oh yeah. I was glad to be in Rec A, but I don't like Rec A and Rec E were two of the ones that seemed to be doing the most. I'm sure the overlords of the other ones would disagree with me, but
yes, and then of course we have the infamous Keep on Fragging Trucks. And
oh my gosh! I actually listened to the episode the other day. It was like 3 or 4 episodes ago. Foo Mo explained it.
Yes.
But I mean, it really was just that. It was like keep on trucking. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, you said keep on trucking. Foo Mo would say
keep on fragging.
Keep on fragging. Yes. And then one day you were like, you know what? Keep on fragging.
Keep on fragging trucks.
Yep, and that's how it was born. There was no hidden message behind that one.
I mean, and then like everyone kind of like put their own little spin on it when they started emailing, like keep on fragging ducks, keep on. It was like, you know, and every time we answer an email, like since then was like, hey guys, you know, thank you. Here's my tip, blah 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 blah. You know, keep on fragging Munchkins. You know, keep on fragging Nene. It's like something like they had their own little way of saying, you know, that's like their little piece as well.
Right. Yeah. So Spelchek, have you gone back and listened to what's happened to it since then?
There's a couple instances. I haven't listened to like every single episode since 47 and today. I've listened to probably like 9 or 10 episodes though. I mean, I listened to the specials. I gotta listen to the special episodes.
Yeah.
And I've watched a couple episodes of Pod TV, which we'll touch on that in a second.
It's funny listening to the old ones.
And this is something I told people on the forums a little bit earlier that, I mean, I've been away from Podtacular for just about 2 years now. And it feels crazy that Podtacular is even more than 2 years old to me too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But it felt good just to know it was still there when I was gone. It really did. It's just like, man, I was part of that and I helped build that and it's still going. It felt good. It really did.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And you know, we kind of, well, of course, you know, the loyal listeners will never forget that Freak in a Box used to edit the show.
And he did it
for a while.
Job. He did an amazing job.
Yes. And, you know, no pay, did it out of the goodness of his own heart. And it was funny because, you know, on Call of Duty 4 the other night, Foo Mo, we were, you know, he was on my team. And I'm like, oh my God, Freak in a Box, how you doing? Wow, you know. So, I mean, you know, we've had a lot of great individuals working on our shows.
There's actually like one guy, and we don't have him in the notes, so I gotta say before I forget. Anybody who's a listener of the older episodes will probably remember a man named Decidus.
Yeah, Decidus. Yep. He used to fill in once in a while.
Like he did fill in, like I think like on like 2 or 3 episodes. He filled in,
and he used to have his rant.
For me once, and he filled in for Foo Mo a couple times.
I mean, you had a rant?
It's the Podtacular rants.
Yep.
I mean, some were better than others, but I mean, he sent us like, I mean, because we used to say, you know, send in your segments, blah 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 blah, you know, and he did. He really did, and it was really good.
Yeah. I remember him, and he just fell off the face of the earth.
He really did. I mean, because he was actually, and this is what we're going to talk about next. He was in charge for the longest time with Pod TV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And for those that remember, Pod TV just wouldn't work. It's like no matter what happened, like someone else would take control of it, and it's like, yeah, man, I have a capture card, and I can do all this stuff, and then they'd like vanish.
Yep.
It's like the ghost of Lockout was killing our entire crew.
It became like a running joke, like because Pod TV could never get off the ground. So it's like, yeah, right, that'll happen when Pod TV gets off the ground.
It really was. Like because it was supposed to be done by sometime like April 2006. Like no, well, first it was like we were gonna have it in January of 2006, which was really ambitious of us to say that. Mm-hmm. But we were gonna have it in early 2006, and then it kept getting pushed back, and then I left the show. I didn't really keep track of it, but apparently it kept going. It still was not gonna happen, and I mean it's up and running now. We got some guys that are really, you know, they can do it now. But
yes. Back then it was hard.
Back then was
you didn't have the same, you know.
There was a bunch of stuff. Politics was a big part of it, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Another guy who used to edit our show was Cyclonic. Don't want to leave him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And, you know, editing's not an easy job.
It takes a lot of time. I mean, you really think that, like, okay, they screw up here and there, delete those 2 things. But, I mean, getting a hold of everybody's audio, because there was a time where we recorded each audio separately. Everybody hit record, and then we all uploaded to, like, yousendit.com. He'd have to download all the stuff.
Wow.
I mean, it took a couple hours, usually.
Yeah.
It wasn't always a fun process.
And sometimes just sending it through YouSendIt took a few hours. It was like, wow, this audio is 300 megs.
Yep. And then we'd get out of sync because like their computers would lag, and Audacity would crash while we were recording.
Yeah.
For one person, and if it happens for one person, we're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, so, everybody's. Yep.
Oh man, that was a nightmare for all podcasters. Never do that. It's not a good idea.
It seemed like a good idea.
It seemed like a good idea on paper. Yeah, definitely.
Well, speaking of having people do things for the Podtacular community out of the greatness of their heart, CapnKrunk, like we said earlier, you came on and you decided, hey, I'm going to help you guys out with a website. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how long actually did it take you to just say, okay, let's get this thing rolling?
Well, I mean, not long after I heard back from the guys, I kind of started planning out like how it could work, and how we would be able to build something, even just something just minimal,
Mm-hmm.
And I think over the course of a few months, it finally got going to where we had kind of a test site up.
Yeah, I remember that.
enough to kind of play around with, and I think it was it early 2006? That's when it all kind of dropped.
Mm-hmm.
When we all got it going.
What was funny with that test site, everybody had access to it towards the end. It was like, you want the password to the test site?
Yeah. It really did become kind of...
Yeah, it became like the secret beta to get into.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was like...
And everybody was on it, was like, okay, let's go ahead and open it.
Yes. But no, that was a big deal. That was a big deal when the site finally launched.
I think really the only reason we didn't open it up was because we had to like manually re-add every single episode to the database, and
yeah, because you had a part in that too, Spelchek, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can still actually, if I wanted to, I could like change some of the comments on episode like 17 through 23. I could say the best episode ever. JVB sounded really funny here. I could be like, I still have access to those because I created those. I don't have admin privileges anymore. I used to, but this was about and a little bit before this is when we found our one and only JVB. Was it around? It was a little bit you'd always been here, but you started taking a more active role.
Well, I started as a listener like everybody else, and I remember I said, you know what, I'm gonna send in a call-in. And I remember it was something dumb where I did my Arnold impersonation, and I said, I was like, hey, this is JVB from XBlockCircle.com, and I have a friend here who has something to say, and I was like, Podtacular, spectacular, yay! And then you guys played it on the show, and I'm like, I'm telling my wife, babe, they played my submission. And I kept rewinding it. And then, of course, I came up with Team Bubble Bath. What happened?
I mean, podcasting as someone who's been a host, and I'm sure JV, when you're a part of the podcast, it really doesn't feel like much.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're not, to hear somebody else play, just even you're like, hey guys, what's up? It's like the coolest thing in the world.
Oh, yes, totally.
Exactly. But go ahead, JVB.
No, and then I finally...
We did another one too, where you did the grunt impressions too, as Arnold.
Yeah. I believe I said if Arnold Schwarzenegger was a grunt, I don't know. That was so long ago. And then I did the infamous Team Bubble Bath submission, and it's funny because a few hours after that, Spelchek calls me on my phone, and I'm like, who's this? He's like, oh, dude, it's Spelchek. Because he's like, oh, my God, that was the funniest thing I ever heard. I'm like, who's this? Spelchek. I'm like, oh, cool.
Because the way we had our voicemail set up, we got to see the number of the phone that called from us. So I'm like, oh, this is good. I got to call this guy and tell him that it's good. He needs to be thanked personally.
Yeah, that was I thought it was so dumb. I was like, you know what, let me just send it.
It's the classic.
Yep. And now there's even, version 4, for the 360.
Yes. It's funny, one time I go, hey, Luke, I'm talking to Luke Smell, I go, you know what Team Bubble Bath is? He goes, no. I'm like, all right. I was like, cool. I didn't even tell him. I just wanted to, I was curious, if he knew what it was.
Yeah.
At least he didn't say, man, that was the dumbest game type I've ever seen. But yeah.
That's a Bungie favorites if I ever heard one.
Yeah,
right.
That'd be crazy though. We actually tried to get a Team Bubble Bath game in on one of the Hump Day challenges, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
I remember that.
And it was funny because I was all expecting that we were going to get our game in next because we had already put one in and they put one in, so we're thinking, all right, it's our turn. And I'm like, all right, you know what time it is? Team Bubble Bath, and they just completely ignore me and then throw in their own game type.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's funny because
okay, all right, we could do that.
Yeah, it actually took Podtacular quite a while to get a challenge for a hump day challenge to play Bungie. And I remember one day I was like, you know what? I posted on the forums. I was like, hey guys, if I pursue this, would you guys, should I pursue it? People were like, yeah, try it. And it just so happened that, and there's another individual I want to thank a lot for so much he's done for Podtacular, KP. He was the content editor in Bungie.net at the time. He just so happened to be browsing the forums, and when I contacted Frankie, he goes, KP already told me about it. You guys settled things out. And lo and behold, we had our Bungie Hump Day Challenge, and we actually won. 2 games to 1.
Yep, it was close.
Foo Mo Jive made his video debut.
Yeah, that
was awesome.
There was a really good video, like the highlights from that Freak in a Box put together. It is amazing. It's really, really good.
Yes.
Unfortunately, part of it was like me sitting in my office, like talking to this camera, and it just ended. That part was like really dorky.
Yeah, he had on his. He was trying to look like David Hasselhoff. He had that little curly hairdo.
Is this on YouTube? I gotta find this.
Yeah, it's on the site. If you look up Podtacular and go back to the news articles, you can find it. But
yeah, it's Pod TV episode 3.
The worst part about it is like how the I guess Freak in a Box did this. I'm not sure, but the like part. You know how on YouTube you have like the part of the video, the frame that you stop on becomes like the front frame before you press play. He stopped at like the most dorky part. Like I have my mouth like halfway open, my eyes halfway closed, and my neck's like all craned forward. And at the bottom it says real big Foo Mo Jive, and I'm like,
yeah, it stops at the weird, it just freezes you at a weird angle.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
And also Dalpex, he became part of the crew. He actually became more of a community manager type for Podtacular.com, and set up all kind of great events, tournaments, and actually there's a tournament going on right now.
Yep,
that's right.
So guys like Krunk and Dalpex and Freak in a Box, Clonic. The list goes on and on with the amount of help we got, and you don't know about them because they did it unselfishly, and that is what kept Podtacular going for a long time, and it's still going.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere yet.
What was that?
There's nothing going anywhere yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going anywhere, but just a podcast. But no, there's a lot of people to thank.
Yeah, actually, can you talk about the tournaments and how that progressed, CapnKrunk?
I would probably be the one to talk about it the best, but I've kind of helped him put those things together, each time they come around. And I know it's something that a lot of people look forward to, and a lot of people have fun with. So
it even won an award.
Yeah, all right.
Exactly. Won an award, and what website was that, Foo Mo?
That was at the what is it? Second Foundation. Secondfoundation.net.
Yes, Second Foundation.
Yeah, the Halo Community Award for the best tournament for 2000. Was it 2007? I think.
2007. Yes.
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, and they keep getting bigger and bigger, and more people coming around to take part and check it out. So
yes, at one time we managed to get prizes for one of the tournaments. Each of the grand prize winners got Halo Vista and Halo 2 Vista, and second place was a copy of Halo Vista for the PC. So it's gotten notoriety.
Was there even anything for the first one? I don't remember.
No, first place winners got Vista and Halo 2 Vista.
Yeah.
A copy of each.
They've taken off, and I know a lot of people from other communities have come and check it out. And it's good to see, man. It's more than I ever thought would ever happen. Because it's not easy, and I know Dial puts a lot of work into making those, to organizing those, keeping them on track. So.
Yeah, crazy, man. Well, he was telling me that while he was running the first season tournament, he had like 20-30 PMs a day or something like that on the forums private message about like people asking questions or having disputes or all kinds of stuff. And he's going nuts following up on all that. It's a lot of work, but it it really became like something amazing. So labor of love, definitely.
Yes, and CapnKrunk and Dalpex, I always give you guys credit, man. You guys are the unsung heroes.
Behind the scenes guys, they really do a lot.
Yes. Foo Mo Jive is the only pretty face of the two. And hey, we're here doing all this emotional happy-go-lucky talk, but there were times where we did have our fair share of villains.
Oh yeah.
In the community and other podcasts that personally attacked, especially Foo Mo Wive.
Well, a lot of people really. In fact, especially Dialpacks, if you're going to go there. But actually, let's get to that after the break. Let's take a quick break here and get to some more. After the break, controversy returns. More 11.
Conflict. Dun dun dun.
So we're going to get to some more people that sent in their gamer tags to be in the final episode of Podtacular. People that had been part of the podcast, had sent stuff into the podcast, have been listeners to the podcast. Mm-hmm. This is for you guys too, and you guys are very much a part of the show and very much a part of Podtacular. So here we go.
Hey, Podtacular. It's gamertag poop in a basket.
Hey, my name's Utheril.
Hey, Podtac, this is XTLX Prodigy.
Hi, Podtacular, this is Pyroflash.
Hey, this is Phil101. I was just calling to say goodbye to Podtacular. I'll really miss you guys. Thanks for the great podcast and helping me meet so many great people. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Podtacular, this is Mad Adam Form.
Hey, Podtacular, this is Dust Storm. Hey, everyone, it's CapnKrunk. Hello, Podtacular. This is Immortal 3. Calling and send my goodbyes to the podcast.
Alright, Podtacular. This is Mr. Buddha from the forum.
Hey, this is Orion Sniper 07.
Hey, guys. It's Renegade M. Just want to give a huge shout-out to Foo Mo Wive, JBB, and Spelchek, wherever the hell you are, man. It's been a wild ride, and I've enjoyed every little bit of it. And I'd like to thank you guys for having such a great time here. And thanks to the whole community, too. You guys have done such a great work around the site and made it what it is now. So keep on fragging trucks, kids.
Hey guys, Swift Ninja 1.
Hey guys, it's Painkiller 05. Just thought I'd pay my last respects to the podcast. It's been a great run. I've been here from the beginning. Foo Mo Wive, JVB, CapnKrunk, Dialtex, Cyclonic, Spelchek, everyone who's made this podcast what it is now owe you a lot. You've created a flagship community for the Halo world, and good luck for your future. And thank you for everything. See you guys.
Hey, this is Heavenly Yeti.
This is King Louis 501.
Hey, Podtacular, this is Nemesis. My gamer tag is Paranoia OMG.
Hey, Podtacular, it's KFX. I just want to give thanks out to Foo Mo Wive, JVB, all the admins on the site, and all my fellow clan members. Podtacular, you guys rock, and gonna miss you guys.
Okay, well, welcome back, and we're continuing on the history lesson of Podtacular, the ultimate tale from the foxhole here, talking about how Podtacular got going, and we're at a point where we're mentioning briefly our experience with some people that caused a lot of trouble at Podtacular. We're not going to name any names, but let's see, Spelchek, why don't you tell us about a few things that we kind of went through on that and like what we learned from it.
I don't know. Spelchek's eating a corn dog.
He just burned his mouth with a corn dog earlier. He was like, oh.
Okay, my mouth is clear of corn dog right now. I can talk.
Caught you mid-bite there.
What are we talking?
That was good.
I'm already okay. Wait. Hold on. I got it. No, don't worry about editing it.
No.
Don't worry about editing. This is good. We'll leave this.
Okay.
But yeah, we did have a little bit of issues with because the thing about like a voluntary community is really you can't discipline anybody. It's something that we kind of learned real quick. You can't when people are just giving their time, you can't say stop.
It's hard to fire volunteers.
Stop or else. You can't just tell a volunteer like please stop volunteering and helping us because it's kind of mean. But I mean, we did have to. There's a couple people. I'm not gonna name any names, but they really were. It was mainly within clans, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. But we're through a lot of that stuff now, and I mean, it's very minor if we ever had to face it again. But there was a time when Foo Mo had to post all over the forums, and it was bad.
Yes, it got bad, and like we talked about it, it was the first time that we actually went through conflict like this, and we pulled through. You know, the community came together, and it became stronger, in my opinion, after that.
Definitely. I mean, we've been through this a couple times, you know, throughout Podtacular. It's like, you know, it's like we've had our great times and we've had our bad times, you know, and you know, these were some of the rougher times, definitely. But they, you know, they taught us a lot, which was the important part. You know, they taught us about, you know, how to improve so that this doesn't happen again, how to make our community stronger, you know, how to work together as a team to you know, to keep the have fail safes in place so it doesn't happen. And you know, it was stuff in the forums. It's people, you know, back talking and things like that here and there. It got at one point I remember writing these rules in the forums called the Strong Community Rules, basically about, you know, like don't talk crap about people. You know, be nice, be a nice person. Don't try to like call people out and start all this, you know, teenage politics and stuff on the forums, and just be a cool person, you know. So I think, but there were specific rules within that, you know, like don't talk. I mean, you know, make sure to bring any problems you have up with people in private messaging, and don't post private messages on the forums, and you know, little things like that. But you know, once we worked through those issues, I think everybody. What happened is like on all of the times that it seems like when we had this, I'm sure CapnKrunk can agree with me there. Here, it seems like our community, just like all the people that wanted Podtacular to stay, that felt like it felt like they were vested in Podtacular. It was part of them. They really wanted it to succeed, and they came out of the woodwork to stand up for, you know, what was right and for what was good about Podtacular, and say, we're not going to let this die. We're going to make sure that this stays a positive place where people can play Halo and make friends like it should be.
Definitely. And you know what's... Go ahead.
Yeah. I think that was always the ultimate goal of, you know, of doing the show, of doing the site. With all of it is just, you know, having a place for people. I mean, to have people just come and start trouble, it's not called for.
And personally, I'm surprised that it didn't happen more often when you consider the reputation that Halo 2 players had. You know, that it was screaming 13-year-old boys who all they did was curse, and it was full of racial, you know, conflict and blah, blah, blah. And we had this community that, once in a blue moon, we had, you know, some conflict. But those people aren't around anymore, and we are. And our community is one of the most well-respected communities out there right now.
Yeah, that's part of why I latched on to Podtacular, is because of all the hard work you guys were doing to keep it a nice community.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't easy. It was not easy. And speaking of the community, Quality Jeverage put together his own little comic strip called Weekly Porridge that took off.
Yeah, it did. I had a chance to talk to Jeverage after he started for a little bit, because one of the things I did while I was away was immediately after I had left, I kind of got together with a few friends. I did my own little podcast called The Electric Pony Show,
which I used to listen to.
There was 1.5 episodes. and you know what? If you have a copy of it, you're one up on me, because I don't even have anything regarding it anymore. But one other thing I did was I actually did a set of comics too, and that's where Jeverage said he got the idea for it was from a set of comics I did for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember.
I'll see if I can find those. I'll probably repost them if I can find them. But that's where Jeverage said he got the idea, and it was it's really kind of cool thing. He got a lot of people from the community involved. He had recurring characters involving.
Yeah. I was a giant foot. I was a giant foot. The Alpex was like a banana with.
He was a phone. He was a phone.
He was a phone, yeah.
Big biceps.
Yeah.
And there was a lone banana phone, right? And he was a banana.
Yes, And Painkiller was a little round character. I don't know.
He was like a meatball with glasses. Meatball.
Yeah, like. The only thing my character ever did was just step on people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like.
What was Foo Mo's? Yeah, that's what. Like you were coming down from the clouds to take control of the issue.
Oh, dude, remember they had, I forgot who made it, but Foo Moism, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to forget it. Thanks, JBB.
I think there was a Bible or something.
The Fumoist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Fumoist.
It looked like Fumoist.
Yeah.
I believe in the existence of Fumo.
Yes.
I remember that. like that was like one of the times that I kind of came back to visit the people. I did that. I remember that.
Visiting the people. Yeah, but
every now and then I'd get kind of curious as to what was going on, and like.
So were you a Fumoist?
I was. I did join the ranks of those loyal to the Fumo.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to stop because it was like, dude, you guys.
Yeah, it got too far, man.
Yeah, it really did.
There was a podcast, I think, that was. Remember, somebody wanted to start a podcast.
They actually recorded a podcast, like, and we are the Fumoists, and we are here to talk about our dedication.
Oh, dude. Remember at one point there was so many members from Podtacular starting their own podcast, and it was like flooded, man, with our guys starting podcasts, man. It was like, wow, and they would wind up talking about Halo, without even realizing it. But there were some good things that came out of some of the members. Painkiller had his Podtacular Radio, and Chevelle started Halo News, which was I loved it, especially the Voltron.
So funny.
That was
so
great
funny.
show.
Or the Michael Jackson gang.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I love that one.
Yes, and they were well made and action, and of course funny as hell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the guy that was going to jump off the building, and every song the police played to calm him down was about jumping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was great, man. They always blew someone up in a creative way at the end. They always like shot.
Oh yeah, the anchors always died at the end.
Yeah.
That
was a super cool show, man.
Yeah, no, we had. I mean, we still have great content from the community members, and we also won an award for 2006 Listener Choice Podcast of the Year.
Yeah.
And that year, actually, and that was from podcastawards.com, but that was the same year that you guys won the Gamertag Radio, the first annual Gamertag Radio Community Awards for Best Podcast as well.
I voted so many times, like every day.
Me too, dude.
It was a once a day thing, right?
And it was funny because I remember cheering.
Both the Gamertag Radio one and the 2006 podcast one.
Yeah.
Did they ever send you the prizes?
Nope, they never sent their prize. That whole thing ended up being like a big joke because I emailed them because first they emailed us and said, okay, what's your address? I'm like, all right, they're gonna send us a prize. It's cool. And then they never, we never get anything. And then Dialpex calls them up and they're like, oh, that's because we never got your address. And they're like, we're like, you emailed us and asked about it. Here's what it is. And then I emailed them back at least twice after that, telling them my address. And they never sent me the prizes. And I'm sure they'll claim, it's because we never got your address. And I got responses for all those emails, too. They just...
Wow.
I don't know what the problem is, but it was kind of funny. But really, the important part was the community was really proud of what we'd done together. You know, we all banded together, and, CapnKrunk, you remember, is on the front page for like a month.
Yeah, we voted 4 times, maybe without breaking the rules, and then what else did.
Actually, I don't think that's something we talked about the podcast, is that this is one of the few, if only even now, that really involves the community. I mean, now JVB's doing that with his show. But
yeah, I'm
back then it was like, why, it was a big deal to bring so many people onto your show.
Yeah. Well, even just the kind of reader contributed or listener contributed, stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see that too much. It's usually someone talking or a couple of people talking or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And, about whatever they want about. But when you've got people actively participating or submitting things, it brings people into it.
Yeah, until this day, people are excited to see their submissions, hear their submissions being read on this show.
I got at least
Just
2 or
like
3
way
tales
back
from
in
the
the day.
foxhole just this week. People still send them in, man.
Because there's still some of the old episodes.
I'll send you one tomorrow.
They're persistent. They're like, we don't believe it.
I'll have to reply and say, stop.
Before I forget, we were in a magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. In London,
We're in-
UK or something, right?
Well, no, it was a Game Informer, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Tips and tricks, that was it.
Tips and tricks.
Right.
I knew it was it sounded like smaller, but I hold a grudge to it this day.
Why?
They
What-
spell check incorrectly.
By incorrectly, you mean correctly?
No,
That's ironic.
they did like SPELLCHECK.
Yeah.
correctly.
I bet their editor wouldn't let them spell it right.
And I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Like
They were like, use
Foo Mo
Spelchek
Jive
to
crew.
spell it.
They tried to look that one up. I couldn't have seen mine. I was like right next to it.
Those bastards!
But believe it or not, I mean, like Foo Mo Jive, I mean, like we were saying that people were like doing podcasts based off of, Foo Mo theories or whatever. And you were even featured on the community spotlight on Bungie.net. And that was a big deal as well. Because truthfully, a lot of people used to ask me if I was the one who created Podtacular. And I'm like, no, it's Foo Mo Jive. And I'm just the loudmouth of the show. And I said, Foo Mo Jive does all the back, I almost said backdoor stuff, but that would have been inappropriate. But he does the behind the scenes stuff that nobody realizes. And, when I saw you on Bungie.net, I was like, sweet, finally getting the recognition he deserves. And, the time when you and I went to Seattle, and, I was so happy that they invited you there. Because, it was only fair.
That was super cool. I mean, we were the only community that they invited 2 people from the community from.
Yes.
And,
yes, we were the only show, the complete show.
Big thanks.
Well, not really, because Krunk and Dalper.
Yeah, I wish we could have, had a lot more people come, definitely, but speaking of which, JB, you're talking about the things like that with the recognition. You were also nominated at Gamertag Radio recently for Xbox Community Member of the Year, and you went on to become an Xbox MVP 2 years in a row now, and be a leader at Gamertag Radio, and starting your own podcast, Post Game Report. So you got a lot of stuff under your belt as well, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, I got Podtacular to thank for that, man. And actually, I do want to go into how I became the co-host, because
I wanted to ask you that for so long.
Well, it's funny because when you left, he was bringing in different hosts. So I'd be on my computer, and at the time I used to use MSN a lot, and I get a message, "Hey, JVB, can you do the show tonight?" Sure. I mean, I was excited as all hell to do it. And then it became like every other week. And then it was like almost every week. and G. Lewis, one day during the game of Halo 2, he's like, "Do you know you're winning the poll for next co-host?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Yeah, we all decided to do a poll of who would be the next co-host." So I'm like, did Foo Mo Jive do this poll? He goes, "No." So I'm like, well, then it's not official then, I said, but I'll go take a look. So I'm looking. It was me, Lone Banana Phone, G. Lewis, several other of the more popular members that have hung around for 3 years with us. And I remember seeing, like, throughout this whole mess of replies, Foo Mo Jive saying, "Well, too bad JVB is busy. Are you?" And you put a big question mark. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I better contact him right away. So I was like, "Dude, man, if you need to hold something down." And that's just how it went through. And it was funny because we never officially announced it till maybe, almost a year later. Like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm the I'm the new co-host." It was just like, I just jumped in, and it just, I don't know. Never was officially announced. There was no big, like, secret or nothing. It's, I don't know. It was definitely an exciting time for me. I mean, I told my wife, I'm going to be the co-host. And, I mean, even to this day, it's still exciting to do the show and everything. So,
I think a lot of people, for both of you guys, really, a lot of people really kind of identify with what you bring to the show, and it balances things out. I mean, I know for me as a listener, it brings a different dynamic, but it's still just as entertaining and amusing and fun to listen to.
Mm-hmm. So, well, thank you for that. Yeah, it was funny because it was at one point some people were like, "Well, we prefer Spelchek," and other people were like, "No, we prefer JVB." And, I mean, in a perfect world, it would have been the 3 of us, Mm-hmm. But at the time, the majority of our audience was younger. Mm-hmm. And so they related more to Spelchek.
Right.
And, I was an old fart. I'm still an old fart, and, it was an acquired taste, I guess.
I have to say though, like when I found out that you got when I found out that JVB got the co-host position, I was just ecstatic. I couldn't have been happier that you ended up being the one.
Oh, I appreciate that. Cool, man. Yeah, man. But no,
don't tear up now.
But I have to, thank Mike for asking me, and yes, I'm in like a million podcasts, different websites, Xbox MVP 2 years in a row, and I was a shoelace away from being the fourth member of Gamerscope Blog with Microsoft. And I mean, I never announced that, but I was awfully close to last year working for Microsoft, and it's all due to the fact that I started, podcasting with Podtacular. So figured I'd let that out now.
Dun, dun, dun. Now we know.
Yeah, I remember calling Mike, dude, I gotta talk to you, man.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. I was like, whoa.
I've used Podtacular as a resume thing once, and it helped me.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, especially nowadays. No, please do.
So my senior year, no, this was my junior year. I didn't get into a production class. Funny me, the guy who used to edit the shows regularly didn't get into a production class. So I used Podtacular, and I got into the class, and I ended up I was the number one student in the class, and I ended up winning an award at the end of class for most productive student, best student, nice. And I have a plaque on the wall in that classroom now for best student ever or something. Wow. I was
awesome.
The teacher's favorite, and so
nice.
But yeah, Podtacular, it helps. It's a good community.
Exactly.
But we can't stop here. We got to keep going. I mean, there's more stuff that we got to remember.
Yes.
Didn't Foo Mo get a free 360 out of the whole thing?
Yes, I was just about to say that. How I believe it was CapnKrunk and Dalpex.
Yeah.
That started the whole campaign.
Yeah, I think it was actually one of
Immortal 3.
Yeah, it was Immortal 3, that's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with this idea, and I think he hit Dalpex with it, and then, we talked about it, and we got it all arranged, and, started approaching different people, and we said, yeah, we can do this. Because at the time, it was Foo Mo was the only one without one.
Yeah.
Without 360, and that's...
I know. We used to say, dude, how are you going to play Halo 3 if you don't have a 360? I'm going to get one.
Well, even the episode before that or something, right? You guys made a big deal out of it. Oh, you don't have a 360.
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah. And then we finally...
How did you keep it a secret?
Oh, it was rough.
Yeah, it was a bit of some covert operations.
Yeah, really, man. That was
it was tough because there was so many people involved, and
yeah, there was a lot of people in on that, and we wanted to approach enough people to actually get it done, but we wanted to make sure that it didn't get out too early or anything like that.
Now,
that's one of the things about, or that's one of the things we learned about some of the people is that there's a lot of people that you can kind of trust with this,
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I remember, number one, seeing the pictures that Foo Mo Wive took.
Oh.
But wasn't there a conversation between you, Foo Mo Jive, and Dalpex?
There was. He said...
we actually did an episode on this, but I mean, that was so long ago.
Real quick,
So go through that.
One time we were on IM, right? We talked about on IM, and he said something about I need to get that $350, to get it all together. We need to hurry up and get it. And he actually posted it in the wrong window. He was trying to post it to Immortal 3 or something, or to CapnKrunk.
He was talking to me, yeah.
Oh, yeah? And I was like, 350? What are you talking about? And he was like, oh, crap!
Yeah.
And then he had the most ridiculous story to back up his claim. He goes, oh well, something about my because he was getting married soon. My brother bought me this blender for $350, and I need to get it back from him. I'm like, a $350 blender? I'm like,
wow.
What the heck?
Like a cake mixer or something?
Yeah, something.
Now, if you've seen the Will It Blend stuff, a $350 blender isn't really that crazy. If you buy
$350, I mean, maybe $200 for a really nice gold-plated blender, but geez. And I'm like, what kind of blender costs $300? He's like, I know, I gotta take it back. And I'm like, yeah, you better, dude. That's $350. And I'm like, man, I can't believe his brother. That's crazy, man. God.
Your brother's a jerk. Tell him I said that.
Go home, tell him, $350 blender. Do you believe it? Is that nuts or what? And she's like, yeah, right, yeah, sure, I know about that.
Yeah. And then obviously she was in on it.
Yep. She
Now remind everyone how did you actually get the Alpex mailed it to Foo Mo Wive, right?
Mm-hmm. It was a GameStop card. I think it was 360 toward 360 if I remember right. And they sent it, in this envelope, and she brought it in there, and she goes, "There's something for you." And I'm like, "What is this?" And I had no idea. And I'm sitting there at my desk, and then she goes and gets a camera or something. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Just open it." And I opened it, and I was like, "Ooh!" I was looking at my face, like, "Oh my eyes are about to pop out of my head." I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Did it look anything like that still from Pod TV3 when you had?
Not exactly. That looked more like I was about to fall asleep from being too much of a doofus. But
no, but dude,
this was like Total Recall, like when he lands in the with the busts his face mask. It's like.
Spelchek. The funny thing was, I was living in Florida already when he got that. So the first time I go to his house, I see his Xbox in the living room, sitting on top of a cat house. Yeah, and it's like angled. It's like on a slant. And I was like, I gotta take a picture, dude.
That's my entertainment center, man.
Sweetest setup I've ever seen. Yeah. Like, I got nowhere to put it, man. I'm like, dude, your cat must be so hot.
He's like an oven.
My cat has the red rings of death, man.
Oh, man. So, I mean, we've had a lot of, great memories. People are still doing things in the forums like Pod Fiction and,
the Podtacular RPG.
RPG. Yes.
What is that? Can someone explain that to me? I missed that. That's part of when I was gone.
CapnKrunk, you know the deal, right? Or Chuckie, or
I know.
Oh, I don't know.
I read some of it in the beginning, and I was like, I cannot. I mean, it seemed like in one day it got hundreds of replies, and I was totally lost.
It's like. It's like like a Final Fantasy style, maybe like a Final Fantasy 2 or 3 style RPG, but with all characters from the forums. And it's stuff like, G. Lewis saying, "Fetch my towel for me," and, Jevered saying,
Fetch my towel.
Jevered saying, go get, go get Painkiller for me or something like that. So it's all like little things from Podtacular based on like all the little inside jokes we have going on at Podtacular in the community and in the podcast and stuff like that. It was really, really cool. And everybody had like their own character and it was something else, man. That was done by, let's see, Twest87.
Twest87, yes.
But is it a Windows program?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
And let's not forget the very popular Podtacular IRC channel.
Oh, yeah.
I was off that the other night. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
it's still there.
Can probably go into that. That was a good thing and a blessing and a curse, and it turned out to be more really a curse. Oh, okay. Well, basically, we ended up saying, the problem with IRC is it's not the nature of IRC is that it's not moderated. So we ended up saying, never mind. Let's just go back to forums.
We gave KP a lot of headaches.
Yeah, KP was like, that's enough of you guys.
Yes. And Foo Mo, I mean, last year, or before Halo 3 was released, you and I used to call each other before every show, like, dude, what are we going to cover, man? We got no news for Halo 3. Yeah. Halo 2 is old.
Yeah, it was.
What are we going to do?
That was funny because it was like, it really was. Like, before each show, we were like, what the heck, man? What's going to be this show?
Exactly.
Viva Pinata? Maybe?
Yes. I remember that was...
I made fun of that game, and I regret it. I love it.
Yeah.
That is an excellent game.
Hey, well, Spelchek, you once said that you like Animal Crossing better than Halo 2.
Oh,
so
heresy.
Probably did.
Actually, I still do. When they release one for Wii, I might start my own Animal Crossing Wii podcast.
Nice.
I remember Gemini Ace started an Animal Crossing podcast.
He still has it too.
Oh wow!
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful game. It's so quirky. It's so family friendly. It's like the best game I've ever played. It's just like so well done.
Yes.
Like,
oh man,
you can play it for months and you'll never feel bored.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's fun.
Yeah,
No,
that Pinata show. That was a pretty memorable one.
Yes. I was about to say that because we had Anjo Banjo
and Brent Gamer.
and Brent Gamer. So that was a very entertaining show. I mean,
yeah, with all the innuendos that they had going on, especially Brent Gamer, man, that guy was.
And then towards the end, Anjo lost it. And
yep.
Is that where Rumple Big Butt came?
Oh yeah.
Yes, Rumple Big Butt.
Yep.
Rumple Big Butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Brent Gamer, he does a community heat lamp feature on Podtacular.com.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's done that in a while, though, right?
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, but
that
he
was
also
definitely a great feature.
He also, of course, is famous for like all of his really quirky like send-ins for the Podtacular podcast, where he would like
from the toilet.
Exactly. He would just tell all these crazy jokes and stuff. It was really awesome, man.
And you know what? Brent Gamer, I mean, he has a future in something involving entertainment.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a very talented individual.
Yep.
I mean, he's talented as all heck. So
I want to be
Gamer,
buying
do a podcast
Brent Gamer DVDs, 10 years from now.
Yes. We've met a lot of talented people in our community. I mean, starting with Spelchek and,
Now,
Brent
this
Gamer.
might be a good time to ask if we have any idea who the secret admirer is.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea to this day.
Well, actually, let's get back to that in just a second after we take a quick break here and get to some more people that send their gamer tags to say goodbye to the Podtacular Audio Podcast. As we transition to video, and here we go. Here's more of them.
Hello, and I'm ATL Richard 77.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Unreal Chief.
The Doctor is here with my first and I guess last calling.
Hey, Podtacular, this is Spacehead. Hey guys, Kapow have my gamer tags Kapow for the win.
Hey guys, this is Loku.
Hey, Podtacular. This is Coco Shenane.
Hey, this is Immortal Moose.
Hey, Philon, this is KBC.
Hey guys, this is Nightlight 82.
Yo, it's Scotland 916 here, and I just want to say, keep on fragging trucks to frag fraggers fragging trucks. Love you guys, peace.
Hey, this is Ristiblo, and I was just calling in to bid Podtacular a good farewell. We had a great run, guys, and you guys really made the last couple years great for me, and I'm sure everyone there. And I'd just like to say thanks for everything. Okay, bye.
Hey, what up, everybody? This is SG Awestruck.
Hey, what's up, Podtacular? This is Shadow Shucker 94.
Hey, Podtacular, this is Penguin Smacker.
Hey, Podtacular, this is XESP X Joe X.
Hey, Podtacular, this is Zomg26.
Yo, this is a GTX Charger.
Hey, this is G Lewis. Just calling to say goodbye. It's been a great 2-3 years of listening to the podcast. And big shout out to JVB and Foo Mo Jive for all the good job they did. Spelchek and everybody else.
Hey, this is Brent Gamer from the Podtacular community. Just to say that Podtacular's had a great run, and I love you, Foo and JVB. I love you guys. Goodbye.
Hey everybody, it's Chevelle65. Just want to say, hey Podtacular, thanks for the friends list. 95% now. All Podtacular peeps, thanks a lot. Thanks for letting me be on the show twice. Had a blast. Thank you, JVB, CapnKrunk, and Dial. Had so much fun with you guys doing that. And I guess last but not least, PTFO. That's right, PTFO, guys. Later.
Hey, this is Killzilla. Well, so much time, JVB. Just wanted to call in and thank you guys for, doing the show, because without this show, if I hadn't discovered Podtacular on Bungie.net, I would not be as involved in the gaming industry and community as I am now. But because you guys got me into the field, and now I've decided what I'm going to do in my life. So look forward to playing with you guys in the future, and good luck with whatever you're going to do after this. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Hey guys, it's Martyr1162.
Hey Podtacular, Smoothman2282.
Hey Podtacular, this is Plasma Grenades. This is going to be my final voicemail.
What's up, guys? My gamer tag is Powner1000.
Hey Podtacular, this is XGeekX.
RHCP117. Hey, this is Shadow Chaos.
Hey, this is Halofinity.
Hey, this is a sketch.
Hey, Podtacular. It's Lone Banana Phone. I spent the last 5 minutes trying to think of something witty or something impressive or something cool to say so that you would remember me, but nothing came to mind because I am quite saddened by the news that Podtacular will be no more, just as a podcast. But just called in to say thank you for everything. It was an awesome time being on the shows, getting to know everybody. And Foo Mo and JVB, good luck in your pursuits and everything you do, and just know that you made a lot of people come together, I guess, as cheesy as it is, but it's really cool that you guys can be older gamers and have everyone look up to you. So good luck with everything. Thank you for all the good times, and I will see you later. Keep on fragging trucks. Adios.
This concludes part 1 of the final episode of Podtacular, but stick around, there's going to be more at part 2. We're going to be talking about the more recent history of Podtacular. We're going to be covering an interview that we did with Godfrey at Gamertag Radio when we first started out, Spelchek and I. And we're going to be playing back some really cool voicemails from the Halo Nation and the greater gaming community. So stick around and check it out.
There's only one thing left to say.
This week on the GamerCast Network. From the Great Northwest, the Xbox MVP returns from a meeting with his brethren. What knowledge can he pass on to us mere mortals? Find out in episode 86 of the video game show. This week on Uncle Gamer, Wii Fit's price point isn't it, the PlayStation Store relaunches, and one of the 3 hosts has a special announcement. This week, Gamertag Radio brings you an exclusive podcast interview with Volition about their upcoming game, Saints Row 2, for the Xbox 360 and PS3. Boost your gamer score with the latest tips from Achievement Junkie. Tune into Podtacular for the biggest stories in the unofficial Halo universe. On Sarcastic Gamer, the guys have caught Grand Theft Auto 4 fever and find out what games under $10 are worth grabbing. Discover the website that brings you all these great episodes and headlines at GamerCastNetwork.com.